The Man in the Crimson Suit, a Jazz Age Ghost Story. New York City, 1926. The smoke curled thick and lazy above the Velvet Vine, one of Harlem's most talked about jazz clubs. By day, the building looked abandoned, an unremarkable brick facade with boarded windows and a rusting fire escape. But when the sun fell behind the skyline, the club became alive. Gin flowed in secret, music swelled like a heartbeat, and everyone danced like death wasn't waiting outside. Lena Marlowe was the star attraction. With hair like burnished copper and a voice that could freeze time, she sang with the sorrow of someone who'd lived 1,000 lives. Every Saturday night, she took the stage wrapped in velvet and sequins, and the crowd would hush like the world had stopped turning. But she sang for only one man. He always sat at the same table, back corner, cloaked in shadow, beneath the mural of a riverboat painted long ago in a drunken haze. He wore a crimson suit, an odd choice for the era, sharply tailored, pristine. His skin was pale, like moonlight on porcelain. His hair dark and slicked, his smile, when he allowed himself one, was like a blade. Lena never knew his name. He never gave it. He never drank, never danced. He just watched. And each week she felt her soul tangle further in his gaze. The regulars called him the Stranger. The club's owner, Big Freddie, swore he'd been coming for years, but no one could remember when he'd first arrived. Some said he was a gangster. Others whispered he was a bootlegger from Chicago with blood on his hands. But Lena had seen plenty of gangsters, and none of them looked like him. He looked like he'd stepped out of a dream or a nightmare. One night after her set, Lena wandered out back for a cigarette. The alley was quiet, full of ghosts and shadows, the smell of rot and perfume mixing in the air. That's when she met Madame Belladonna. The fortune teller worked out of a tiny parlor 2 doors down, cluttered with jars of bones and velvet drapes heavy with incense. The neighborhood called her a fraud. Lena had passed her place 100 times and never gone in. But that night, Madame Belladonna stepped from the shadows like she'd been waiting. "You shouldn't keep singing for him," she said. Lena blinked. "Excuse me?" "The man in red, he isn't what you think." "You don't even know me." Belladonna chuckled, her eyes milky white. "I know things, child. I see them before they happen. And I've seen you, in that club, dead." Lena scoffed, but the chill that ran down her spine wasn't from the wind. She couldn't shake it. That night, after the last set, she walked home alone. The streets were quiet. A jazz riff echoed faintly from a passing car. And then she saw him. The Stranger, standing beneath a flickering lamppost not 10 feet from her door. He smiled. "You have a lovely voice," he said. His voice was smooth, like velvet soaked in wine, but hollow, like it came from far away. "Who are you?" Lena asked. He tilted his head. "Just someone who enjoys music." She wanted to run, but couldn't. She wanted to scream, but her lips stayed sealed. "I've been listening to you for years, Lena. You sing like someone who's lost something or someone." Her mouth finally moved. "Why are you always there?" He smiled again. "Because I like watching things decay slowly." That week, the club grew colder, literally. Breath fogged in the air, lights flickered. The piano played a single note by itself one afternoon when no one was near. And people started seeing things. A trumpet player swore he saw a woman hanging from the rafters. A waitress quit on the spot after seeing her reflection blink when she hadn't. Big Freddie found blood in the sink with no source. Everyone felt it. The club was sick. Lena returned to Madame Belladonna, desperate. The fortune teller let her in without a word and led her to the back room, where a single candle flickered beside a cloudy mirror. "You're in love with him," Belladonna said. "But he isn't a man. Not anymore." Lena whispered, "Then what is he?" Belladonna lit sage and spoke into the smoke. "A spirit. A curse. Some say he made a deal to become immortal but forgot how to live. Others say he's a remnant of something older, something that feeds on sorrow. But he's bound to that club, to the music, to the place where he first died." "Died?" Belladonna nodded. "The Velvet Vine was a speakeasy before the war. There was a massacre, 1921. Police stormed the place. Or maybe it was a rival gang, no one knows. Everyone died. The only body never found was his." Lena staggered back. But he's real. I've talked to him." "Of course, some ghosts know how to wear skin, but they take pieces of yours in return." That Saturday, Lena sang her last song. The club was packed. The air was sharp with anticipation. She wore a deep red dress, her eyes lined with black coal. Her hands trembled. And he was there, watching. She sang like her soul was escaping her throat. She sang like it was the last thing she'd ever do. And maybe it was. As the final note hung in the air, he stood, slowly, elegantly. And for the first time, he approached the stage. "Come with me," he said. The crowd didn't move, didn't blink. It was like time had frozen. "I want to show you where I live now." Lena stepped down from the stage. Madame Belladonna was in the crowd, shaking her head, mouthing no. But it was too late. He took Lena's hand, and together they vanished. No door opened, no wind blew. Just one moment they were there, and the next, gone. The Velvet Vine closed a week later. The building still stands, but no one goes inside. They say if you listen on a Saturday night, you can hear her singing, soft and sorrowful. And if you look through the boarded windows, you might see him, sitting in the back corner, in his crimson suit, still watching, still waiting for the next voice that might bring him back to life. This was the man in the crimson suit. Thank you for listening. And until next time, stay spooky, my friends.